I'd just like to begin this video by saying I'm not a film critic. I don't really consider myself one in any way, shape, or form. I'm just a big movie fan, and what better place to share your opinion with the world than on the interweb? Naturally, I haven't seen every single movie released in 2010. There's quite a few much talked about movies I've yet to see, but for the most part, I've seen the movies that I have had interest in, and while this list isn't set in stone, I'd say I'm pretty much happy with my picks. So, keeping that in mind, may I humbly present to you my top 10 movies of 2010.
When the kids get old, new ones come in. When they get old, new ones replace them. You'll never be outgrown or neglected, never abandoned or forgotten. No owners means no heartbreak.
It's not the Return of the Jedi, and it's not the Return of the King, it's the Return of the Toys. Toy Story 3 is one of those rare third parts in a trilogy that very much matches the quality of the first two. And it adds to this little saga of toys that come to life in ways that I couldn't have really ever predicted, and it actually completes a nice story arc. It has all the characters and humor you'd expect. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen once again lead the cast of tremendous voice talent, and we also get some fun new additions like Michael Keaton as the Ken doll and Ned Beatty playing a very effective antagonist, Hugslop Bear. It never really rehashes the same tired gags. It always finds something new from the characters to get a laugh out of. And it has all the exciting adventure scenes that truly rival anything you could find in a live-action, big-budget Hollywood movie. Truly a testament to the quality of the Toy Story movies and Pixar in general. And when it drives towards the end, there are some surprisingly poignant moments. Seriously, if you don't get at least a little misty-eyed during the final scene, I don't know what to tell you. You may not have a heart. There's a lot of fun to be had with the jokes that both kids and adults will enjoy, but you're not going to find many riffs on pop culture here. The Toy Story movies are confident enough to get the laughs from the story and their characters, and because of that, they have timeless quality. The Toy Story trilogy is just about perfect, and Toy Story 3 is a perfect final note.
This is surveillance only. I want to know exactly who comes through that door. Is that clear?
Loud and.
So Kunt is having a party.
Yeah, he is. And guess who just made the guest list? Guess who just made the guest list?
Us?
Yes.
Probably the one movie on my list that's sure to raise a few eyebrows, but you know what? It's just as important to celebrate a great comedy as it is to celebrate a great drama. And when it comes to my tastes in comedy, I can't think of a movie better than MacGruber, and I can't remember a movie that made me laugh out loud so consistently, even on repeat viewings. I wasn't exactly sure how they could make an entire movie based on a 2-minute Saturday Night Live sketch, but they really pulled it off. They give MacGruber a full, very bizarre history, and they really broaden the humor. It is absolutely relentless with its outrageous crude humor and potty mouth, well deserving of its R rating with plenty of foul language, violence, and one of the strangest, most hilarious sex scenes ever committed to film. But most of all, it really works well as a spoof movie. It strays from the usual action movie formulas and pokes holes in all the cliches, and it's a lot more clever than it leads on. Like spoofs such as Naked Gun or Airplane, none of the characters seem to be aware that they're actually in a comedy. As goofy and clueless as MacGruber is, he very much believes he's kicking ass in an action movie. Will Forte is hysterical, and the supporting cast, including the lovely Kristen Wiig as the love interest, Ryan Phillippe as the rookie, and Val Kilmer as the unfortunately named villain Kunt, are all fantastic. So many people complain that comedy is lousy these days, especially when it comes to spoof movies, so when a really great one finally does come along, it's a shame that it goes ignored. If you haven't seen MacGruber, it's well worth checking out, and well deserving to be named one of 2010's highlights. Technically, it's a 2009 release, but since it didn't hit North American theaters until 2010, I'm counting it for this year. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo deals with some touchy subject matter, including rape, torture, and murder. It has some graphic moments, and although it doesn't hold back with some shocking parts, it doesn't revel and indulge in them either. It's more unsettling than repulsive, which works much better with a film like this. It's much more effective to feel a little unnerved than completely disgusted. Many similar films may make the mistake of bringing us generic heroes, twist after twist, and having too much faith in the final revelation that is supposed to blow your mind or something. There are many times when audiences may have figured it out, or simply don't care about halfway through. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo successfully sways from elements that could have made it another lackluster thriller. It has the likable Mikkel, an open book, and the mysterious Lisbeth. These characters have interesting enough arcs and are developed well enough to occupy a film even without the mystery, so that helps. The mystery itself is layered extremely well and actually has more than one payoff. It doesn't cheat in any way. It unravels and unravels at just the right times and in just the right ways. It all feels very rewarding by the end, and the film's 150-minute runtime proves to be more than justified. So it successfully adapts a universally popular novel, it gives us the great characters and the compelling story, wraps everything up in a very satisfying way, and still leaves it open for the sequels without some kind of cliffhanger. Now that's how you do it. Take note, Hollywood. Of course, it's well known at this point that David Fincher will be tackling an American version of the story in 2011, and after this fantastic adaptation, to say he has his work cut out for him is a huge, huge understatement.
In 4 years, every time you dance, I see you obsessed, getting each and every move perfectly right, but I never see you lose yourself. Ever. All that discipline for what?
Just want to be perfect.
You what?
Want to be perfect.
Maybe not a surefire contender for Feel-Good Movie of the Year, but an incredible movie nonetheless. Black Swan follows a ballerina's search for perfection in her work and her descent into madness along the way. Much like the way Darren Aronofsky dealt with drug addiction in Requiem for a Dream, he shows madness in a way that is utterly horrifying and not glamorized in the slightest. It's a truly terrible place to be. As Nina's world starts crumbling apart and reality becomes disjointed, we're given a slew of some very haunting, unnerving scenes that are sure to get under your skin. Though just to label it as a movie about a girl going insane is limiting the impact. There's no sure way to tell what precisely is going on in the movie. Is it madness? Is it a waking dream? Or should we simply view it as exactly how it's presented, as an outlandish, dreamlike fantasy where reality and unreality need not be questioned because there's simply no place for it in a film such as this? Aronofsky's film once again reminds us how films really are more than just popcorn entertainment, and they can be viewed as art and open to interpretation. Its style is undeniably impressive, but it's not as if the actors here are simply human props. Black Swan features some great performances by Natalie Portman, Vincent Cassel, Barbara Hershey, Mia Kunis, and Winona Ryder. But make no mistake, this is Natalie Portman's movie. She carries the whole thing on her shoulders and gives her most daring, entrancing performance to date. It's impossible to imagine this movie without her. It may not be a movie you want to sit down with on a rainy day with the entire family, and it's not exactly going to give you a fresh, positive outlook on life. In fact, it's very emotionally exhausting. But that's a good thing, because it is extremely effective in what it sets out to do, and it is absolutely unforgettable.
Each of my moms had a kid, with your sperm.
Like in both of them?
Yeah.
Like in two?
Uh-huh, like in gay.
Oh, right on. Right on, yeah, cool. I love lesbians.
The Kids Are Alright takes a look at an atypical family unit as two teenagers whose parents are lesbians set out to meet with their biological sperm donor father. It was a really pleasant surprise, and it sidesteps just about every mistake a film handling such material could make. It's not some heavy-handed liberal propaganda depicting how great and loving and perfect a gay couple can be raising kids and having to overcome all kinds of adversity, but instead it takes a more down-to-earth, relatable approach. All of the characters have their flaws, go through some rough patches, and are far from perfect. But the movie just goes to show that when it comes to family values, it's not necessarily genetics that define a parent. Whether it's a man and a man, or two women raising their kids, a true family sticks it through during the good times and the bad times, and the family in this movie is as strong and loving as you could want a family to be. Thanks to the superb writing and directing and some wonderful performances, this is a movie that is very entertaining, often very funny, and very heartwarming. Annette Bening, Julianne Moore, and Mark Ruffalo deliver performances that are among their absolute best, and the two kids, played by Mia Wasikowska and Josh Hutcherson, are also fantastic, and they're very talented young actors, each sure to have a great career ahead of them. So to sum it up in the cheesiest way possible, the kids are alright, but this movie is more than alright. It's great, and undoubtedly one of the year's best.